Lab number 258. In this lab we continue development of our hybrid messenger application, and in this lab we will in particular focus on application structure a bit, so we will rename all those page 1, page 2, page 3 to something more concrete. We will also fix design, we will work on it a bit, and we will continue working on our shadow page. So we will add some kind of filtering based on delivery time, and we will also add an action to open external navigation app to perform navigation to required address, and open dialer to perform a phone call to phone number of this package receiver. So we'll start with application structure. So as you remember, inside the pages we had three different pages that were called page 1, page 2, page 3. So we will start with renaming all of that. So page 1 will be renamed to something like rating. So page 2 will be renamed to news, and then page 3 will be renamed to shadow. Just like that. So we also need to rename the files inside. So shadow will be renamed to shadow HTML, then page 3 TS to shadow TS, and page 3 SCSS to shadow SCSS. Same for rating. The good thing about generating of those pages from scratch is that when you type Ionic G, then for example page, means Ionic generate page, and providing the name, it automatically creates you all those files in proper structure, in proper namings, and so on. So right now I need to rename, unfortunately, everything. So we are finishing renaming with news. Just like that. And next step that we need to do is we need to open all the TS files there. Let's start with news, and actually rename the template URL and rename the export class. So let's call it something like news page, and the template will be pages, and then news, and then news HTML, just like that. Our rating, the same. And let's by the way change the console log for init, something like rating page init, and in news we will have news. Let's do everything with uppercase. News page init. So rating page, and the last one is the shadow page. So now, in order everything to load, we need to fix tabs page, because as you remember here we have wrong names. So here we will have actually first one will be shadow, and name will be shadow page. The second one will be news page from news, and the third one, as you remember, is rating. like that. And now we need to change the way how we are assigning the roots to tab 1 root and so on. So tab 1 will be equal to shadow page, then tab 2 will be equal to news page, tab 3 will be a rating page, just like that. And one more thing that we will actually need to fix is how SCSS files will be loaded. So that can be fixed in team folder. And then we have app core SCSS, and here, as you can see, we are importing those CSS files. So the same here, shadow, then also news, and we're finishing with rating. Like that. So now we can save this file also. And basically those renamings were needed to do the main stuff. We also will need to work on tab names. So instead of these things like tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, we will need to provide the proper names. So for example, for tab 1, let's have something like shadow, tab 2 will be news, and tab 3 will be rating. Then we can provide some kind of icons, and for that the best option will be to navigate to Ionic to icons page and select the proper icon from there. The good thing about Ionic 2 icons is that you can define the unified name, and then this name will be taken and you will see different icons per platform. So for example, for shadow we can search for something like calendar. Yeah. And then you can see that we can provide the name iOS calendar or outline or MD, but we can do a general thing. We can just say that the name will be calendar, and then based on our platform, we will see one or another icon. So right here we can specify just calendar. For tab 2, for news, let's have something like messaging icon. Text. Now maybe chat. Yeah, let's have this one. Chat boxes. And then for a third one, for rating, we also need to have one. So something like crown. No, medal. Yeah, medal will be good. So this will be an icon for a rating tab. So now we can save this tab's HTML and check what will be changed in our live reload pages. Okay, icons seems like working. Cool, so we still have our shadow, it's working, great. Let's check the news. Yes, we are seeing the news, and let's check rating. Yep, we are seeing the rating. So next step for us will be to work on design, and we will start with the colors. So our hybrid messenger logo contains the yellow color and the black one, so we'll focus on those as main colors, plus we'll have a bit of gray and also white color. So in order to change colors, we will need to work on, first of all, on our variables. So the same concept as it was in Ionic 1 with SAS. So here we can specify the primary and secondary colors. So primary, we can have just black one, for example, and the secondary we will need to have a yellow. So we have here a specific yellow color F7D608 that we can use as the yellow. So just save this app variables as CSS file. And next thing that we will do is we will change the tabs page HTML file. So just on the top we can say that this one be secondary. And this means that our tabs will automatically become a yellow color, and we will also need to change each and every page, starting from shadow, to specify that our navigation bar will be also secondary. Same for rating. And same for news. And let's wait until live reload will finish work, so we will be able to see our modified application. Okay, so we are seeing the yellow color now. Application now definitely looks better. So next step for us is to fix the rating tab. As you see, we have some kind of issues with the space. I mean, of course, empty space between the items. So for that, I will make the developer tools window bigger. And what we can do here, we can actually display here the same application and then look for specific things, for example, for this item, and try to understand why it has so big spaces in between. So it looks like it's not the item itself, maybe it's, yeah, it looks like this is the thumbnail stuff. So yep, we have this code ion thumbnail min width and min height. So we need to change it. Let's pretend that it will be 4 to see how it will look like. Yeah, with 4 it will look perfect. So then we can copy this code and open our text editor, navigate to our rating SCSS, and just pass it here with important flag. So it will override what we have currently. And let's wait until live reload will finish working to see if it's applied. With the way we can remove those page 1, page 2, page 3 from our classes. And just like that. Yep, it seems like it's working as expected, so now I can move back our development tools. Ideally, you should have as big screen as possible for developing and have several windows on the same page, on the same screen, I mean, but I mean, I have quite limited screen size, so we will continue our work like that. So we have fixed the rating. We have quite good looking news, so we don't need to touch it. And we also need to do something with our shadow. And we will start with adding some kind of dividers. So those dividers will mean that we actually will display there a time from which delivery should happen. So like divider from 9 to 10, divider from 10 to 11, and so on. And inside those dividers, we should be able to see our items that should be delivered right in this time. So for that, first of all, we need to focus on how our divider should look like. And it basically should represent the list of our scheduled delivery items. And because we have repeatable times, like a lot of items has delivery from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11, and so on, we should create some kind of variable that will consist only of unique times that won't be repeatable, like 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on, not 10 times 10, not 10 times 9, and so on. So we can do it by defining a new variable. Let's call it something like times, for example. And then when we loaded our results, what we can do is actually for each entry of our delivery, check if we have this time specified inside times array, and if we not have it, we can add it there. So let's define here some local variable as tm, for example. This will be, well, let's say we will prepare our times before assigning to times array. So then we can just calculate our times by doing for each simple thing like calculating each entry. So it will look like this. We will calculate results of our response from backend, so number of entries. And basically for each entry, we will need to check if we already have it inside this tm variable. Way to do it is check index of. So in case we have it inside, we will return the index number. In case we will have something like -1, it will mean that we don't have it inside tm. So we can check results, then we need to use I to specify exactly which item inside results we are looking for. And then we will use time, because time is one of the parameters specified for each entry in our response from adapter. Just as I said, equal to -1. So in case this is, in case we don't have it, we will add to our tm array this results time, just like that. So now at the end, when it will finish for total length of our results, we will be able to assign to our times result of this tm array. And let's also do some logging. Let's check how it will work. Okay, so we have our times array and it's looking quite good. So now in order to include divider that will be on top of our ng4, we need to use a template construction. So it will look like this. So first we are starting with template. Then we need to specify ng4, this time with asterisk. This is the way how we define a template. Then we can work with two things. First one will be time, and second one will be current index. And this ng4 will work with the construction looking like ng4 off. Again, this is the template syntax, times. So what we will do here with the template is basically we will do a repetition of items inside our times array. So let me close our template first, like that. Then before a specific item, but of course within the list, before a specific items, we will define divider. So let's have a light divider. This is the standard class for Ionic light things, so it will be like light gray. Then we will put here our time that we defined here. And let me add just 2 zeros at the back so we'll see that it's time, because this one will be just a number like 10, 9 and so on. And this will be a closure of our divider. Just like that. Actually, instead of working with index like this, we can do even smarter thing with the pipe. So pipe is the way how you define like data filtering. And it was also in Ionic 1, so for example right here we were able in Ionic 1 add something like order by or equal to those things. So those things called pipe now in Ionic 2 and Angular 2. And we can define a pipe here and put as input parameter our time to actually filter all incoming data inside Ion item and display under divider only the items that are equal to our time. So let's call it something like time divider, and as an input parameter we will pass time that we referenced here. And now we need to define actually that divider, otherwise we will have an error displayed. So for that we will again use Ionic generate, but this time it will be pipe. And we will call it something like time divider, for example. Okay, so now under pipes we should be able to see this time divider. Let's actually rename it so it will be according to the way how we defined our providers. So time divider, let's have here time divider without minus in between, just like we defined in our page right here. So now we will change a bit the way how it looks. So we need few things. First, we need pipe transform, and we will also need inject together with injectable as a reference here. So those 4 things. Then what we need to define is a thing called pure equal to false. This is the syntax is how we need to define our pipe. And then we can just define the time divider, let's call it pipe, implements pipe transform. And here, this value and arguments, we need to change to something like items. This is what we will receive as an input. Type any, and also arguments. Again, type any, and any number of those. And finally, construction should look like this. And now we can use a simple filter. So the code will look like this. We will return items applied with filter. And what actually it will do, it will take an item and check if this item time is equal to arguments that we received. You remember that we passed the arguments, only one actually, it was argument time that we defined on top in template. So the first argument that we received is time. We will check if that time is equal to our item time. In case it is, we will actually return this item back. In case it's not, then we won't return this item. So now we can save this time divider and go back to our shadow HTML page. And of course, we need to wait until our live reload will finish. Okay, something is wrong. Yeah, of course, we need to add a reference to this divider. And I also mismatched the closing tag. So it should be ion item divider, the closing tag. And we need to reference our pipe. And that should be done in shadow.ts. So right here, we need to import our time divider pipe. From pipes, and then time divider. We also need to change the extension of the file, so it shouldn't be JS, it should be TS. So now we have pipes, time divider TS, time divider pipe. Let's check what's wrong. Time divider pipe. Oh, okay. It was just waiting. Okay, so now we can save this file and wait until live reload will finish to see how it will look. Okay, yeah, because forgot the final thing that we should reference pipe right here. So under template URL, we should also include the pipes, and then define here time divider pipe, just like that. And now finally it should work. Okay, let's do a login. Cool. So now we have our pipes working, so we are seeing what should be delivered from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11, and so on. And we've seen that list filtered, now it's looking much better. So basically on this step, we're finishing our lab and we will continue development in other labs. Thank you.